Okay, so this is issue 89 of Swamp Thing. Ironic enough, I think from 88. Continuation of the one obviously that happened last month. Reprinting. Firstly, printing the stuff that was taken out because of the controversial issue 88. Now, ironically enough, issue 89 isn't particularly controversial, and it kind of reminds me of what DC was at the time, which I think was really cool. So first of all, it's DC Black Label, which is kind of, I don't even know if it's understandable, because back in the day, this would have been DC suggested for mature readers. There wasn't an imprint. This is pre-Vertigo. This was just suggested for mature readers, same as what Hellblazer was at the time. But it meant that a lot more DC stuff showed up in this than when it went to Vertigo, and it kind of went on through its own little sub-universe, and stuff from DC didn't really cross over. Literally the only thing obviously that crossed over, as far as I remember, is actually that was pre-Vertigo as well. It's I was gonna say Sandman pre-Vertigo, when we had the appearance with the Justice League and Miracle Man and all that kind of stuff. But I think Batman and Superman show up right at the end, and that was technically Vertigo. Anyway, he goes sees Constantine. This is Chaz, I believe. Goes to see Constantine. Apparently, he's had some kind of thing going on with this, some kind of exorcism or some kind of thing to return the Spectre to his body. So that go. And again, it's basically just a gag thing for 2 pages. That's fine. But basically, Prince Justin, the Shining Knight, apparently seen Swamp Thing and wanted to seek out Constantine to try and figure out what's going on. And it turns out that Shining Knight has been travelling back through time to try and stop. Was it Time Trapper? I can't remember where it is now. Meanwhile, Abby is about to have her baby, who we know is going to be Teffy. I believe it's Teffy. Which is okay, and she wants to go to have in the swamp to have it. And there's all these kind of side characters that are around there, and I remember these side characters appearing in the various Swamp Thing stuff. But yeah, so this guy, this time travel chap, Shining Knight's there. I don't quite know what's got this kind of tuning fork rather than a sword. I don't really remember. Yeah, so he reports that he saw Swamp Thing, material like Swamp Thing was trapped in time, couldn't find an anchor. There was an hourglass there. Because that guy knocked it over, he was managed to manifest into that, but then the kind of like crashed, and it was following this amber thing which the guy brought out, and as soon as he brought this amber thing out, Swamp Thing got dislocated back through time again. Trav was back to the Paleolithic time, and then they meet the I can't remember his name now, Anthro. So I'm completely blind on names. So yeah, but I'm not quite sure which one is Anthro, because it says, "Oh, find Anthro, the Olds and Wise." So obviously this is late Anthro. Anthro, the Cave Boy, was the original one, so this is obviously late Anthro. Anyway, all this stuff's going on. Shining Knight is following him through again as he's kind of traveling back through time, as it kind of like as they've kind of crossed over, and he's trying to help him out. But unfortunately, that amber thing is there again. It sends Swamp Thing sparkling back through time, and he continues to go backwards in time, and apparently he goes backwards and back so far that he effectively encounters the Big Bang, and just as it's about to go in there, Shining Knight is following him through, and basically says, you know, nothing you can do about it. You can't save me. You know, tell Abby, you know, I love her and all this kind of stuff, and he disappears into the Big Bang. So Shining Knight returns back to now, and that's why he sets up and tries to get Constantine. Now, again, Constantine. I think I saw a pronunciation thing saying it's Constantine, but in my head it's always been Constantine. So I will keep saying Constantine, even though it's wrong. So yeah, so they're setting off these protections around Abby because they're worried about bad stuff happening, which is pretty fair because Anton Arcane apparently might be something to do with it. But this guy's there and they're in hell, and this bloke's talking about he was at a parish hospital and he was defrauding them, all this kind of stuff. And he go, oh, do you mean in this location? And it's oh yeah, what about you know, does the name Matt Cable mean anything? No, I assume this is Anton Cable because I think Matt Cable was is the one, unless I'm very much mistaken, Matt Cable is the one that turns into Matthew the Raven in Sandman. But I thought he was dead by now already. So it's very difficult to to piece these together after being like whatever nearly 40 years or whatever it is now of remembering continuity. But as its own thing, again, I love the fact that they've reprinted all these old issue stuff, even the bloody the subscription stuff, which obviously is completely irrelevant now. But as a controversial comic book, this is not really controversial. This feels to me like a standard, mature readers comic book from back in '88. So that one issue, the '88 issue, upended this entire storyline, which is a real shame. So I can't remember now if Swamp Thing went to Vertigo in issue 91, or it was definitely something around then, which might have been maybe this is what did it. Maybe this was the decision that they couldn't get away with it anymore without worry and hassle, so they decided to do Vertigo. It's entirely possible. But all in all, yeah, again, a decent issue. It reads like old school Swamp Thing, and I used to love old school Swamp Thing. So, this is a perfect issue for me. So, yeah, I'm definitely interested in reading the last 2 issues of this storyline, figure out what's going on with it. And then hopefully if DC Finest do their collections like I want them to do, this will all be collected anyway, and I can read it in one big fell swoop rather than just starting off with the Bronze Age stuff and then piecing some of the Alan Moore stuff together with it. And the various other sillily labelled omnibuses that have got Swamp Thing by X, Y, Z rather than just Swamp Thing Volume 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and people could actually read them in order. That would make more sense, but no, that's DC for you. Anyway, so yeah, so that's enough rambling for now. So thanks for listening, and hopefully I will see you on another video very, very soon. Bye-bye.